Niehe, for a retired Dutch diplomat, and I'm intrigued by the Zero. And that's why I think they made me also the chairperson of the board of the Zero Project. I do welcome all our speakers for today on the first session of a 6-month-long sequence of conferences on the Zero Project. And I'm very delighted that all eminent speakers which we have today with us have been willing from different corners of the world to join us. And I especially say different corners of the world because I see their mother and daughter who are, I think, woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas on the other side, we have the Netherlands, we are in the middle, we are the third 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then we have New York, which is 6 hours before us, which is more or less doable. And then we have, not anymore in the picture, India doing the technique of the session today, which is 3.5 hours later. But I don't think, with even more admiration for the ones who woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I welcome you all very much indeed to our first session. There's one speaker which we have, which is not with us today, and that is the chairperson of the UNESCO Commission in the Netherlands. She was, in the end, she was unable to join us, and I just want to read, if you allow me, I want to read her statement. I'm very sorry to let you know that I will not be able to attend this Sunday's meeting due to urgent circumstances. I'm confident that the workshop will be a success, and with all the speakers, my contribution will not be missed. By the way, I doubt that, but anyhow, that's what I said. I'm looking forward to watch the workshop afterwards, as I understood that it will be recorded. Wishing you a very successful meeting. Best regards, Marielies Schelhaas, Secretary General, Netherlands Commission for UNESCO. So we thank her very much for letting us know in this way. Today, the first speaker I would like to introduce is Dr. Robert Lawrence Kuhn, the creator and host of Closer to the Truth, which is a public television program, very, very highly admired, I would understand, in the United States. Dr. Kuhn, if you allow me, please take the floor.
Thank you very much, Eric. It is a great pleasure for me and for Closer to Truth to partner and collaborate with the Zero Project on this quite original and critical way of understanding some of the deep natures of the world. Let me tell you a little bit about Closer to Truth and why the Zero is so important to us. Closer to Truth is a U.S. Originally as a U.S. Television program on PBS. We're on 200 stations for 20 years. And our core topics are in 3 big categories. Cosmos, in which we deal with cosmology, quantum physics, mathematics. Consciousness, the second category, where we deal with brain, mind, the mind-body problem, philosophy of mind. And the third category we call meaning, which we deal with philosophy of religion, questions about the existence or non-existence of God, and if there is a God, what are the characteristics and what follows from that. So we deal with the big questions of reality and the fundamental aspects of existence, and ask these big questions primarily from the standpoint of philosophy of science, philosophy of mind, and philosophy of religion. But, and here's the point, the greatest question of all, which we pose frequently on Closer to Truth, is why is there anything at all? Why is there something rather than nothing, which has been called the great philosophical problem? And the relationship with Zero is obvious and exciting. So whereas we have been focusing on these mega questions, Zero sits at the heart of the fundamental question, why is there something rather than nothing? I should say that Closer to Truth began as a U.S. Media operation, but in today's world, we have expanded dramatically globally. The Closer to Truth website, www.closertotruth.com, and the Closer to Truth channel on YouTube has had a very substantial international growth. Our running year now is something like over 21 million views, and the number of minutes viewed per year is approaching 200 million. We have something like 5,000 videos. We've had 270 television programs, and the engagement of the world is really very exciting. US used to be 100% of our market. It's now below 40%. We have 10% in England. We have close to 6% in India. I think the Netherlands we have is one of our most important countries, something like 2%, but it's like the number 5 country. And so we look forward to promoting the Zero Project, featuring its the key speakers, and over time integrating Zero into our production cycle. I will make one final point, and that the name of what we do is Closer to Truth. It does not have a the. It is not closer to the truth, because this is a very important factor. We do not. Our objective is not to find the truth. It is to have a present progressive approach to approaching truth. That's why it's closer to truth. However, for Zero, I look forward to the Zero Project to find the truth about Zero, whereas closer to truth for these other questions, derivative questions from Zero, we'll just stick with closer to truth. So a pleasure to be your media partner, your collaborator. We look forward to an important project in the global history of ideas.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Kuhn. Let us start with closer to truth, also with the Zero, and let's hope that we can finish with closer to the truth with the Zero Project. And by the way, I understand that you have an audience which is, I think, is about 10 times larger than the total population of the Netherlands. So my compliments on that. All right, and you were very much within your 5 minutes, which we all thought that every speaker would have. And the next one will be Professor Sharda Nandram. She already indicated that she needs 1 minute more, which I give you. Please take the floor.
As a well-wisher and humble researcher of spirituality, I'm overjoyed and honored to be part of such a journey into revisiting the Zero. This is one of the most used, but one of the most mystic concepts throughout the history of human knowledge. I want to thank Mr. Erik Niehe, Mr. Peter Hobitz, the Zero Foundation, and all members of the organizing team working behind the scenes. It is because of their perseverance only that we are having such a beautiful series on the concept of Zero. The world of numbers keeps us intrigued for one reason or the other, from negative numbers to imaginary numbers, from various constants to special ratios. They never cease to surprise us. And our curiosity and imagination keep on inspiring us to look for the patterns in nature. So far, we have seen mathematicians who have applied the concept of Zero to make phenomenal material discoveries in the last many centuries. We have seen historians who have painstakingly brought about the beautiful stories about the origin of Zero and its implications across cultures. Interestingly, among many aspects of Zero, the one that got me and my research colleagues at the Vrije University, especially at the Faculty of Religion and Theology, interested was its place in the field of spirituality. We think that studying the Zero may lead to discoveries that are important to not just meeting our material goals, but also spiritual ones at the same time. However, due to a lot of reliance of modern applied science on numbers, we have generated more scholarly interest around the application of numbers to the material realm as compared to the spiritual. Although the concept of Zero laid the foundation of modern-day mathematicians' work, as we use it, yet at times we take it for granted. We are usually not interested in revisiting our understanding about its nature, its past and future possibilities. I'm going to introduce first in Hindi and then I will explain it. It relates to the concept of zero. It is from Bhakta Tulsidas in his Dohavali. He says, राम नाम को एक अंक है, बाकी सब साधन है शून्य. अंक गए कुछ हाथ नहीं, अंक रहे 10 गुण. The explanation: the whole universe can become zero. All that is infinite can be reduced to zero in case of the absence of the name of God or the spiritual component in our lives. And in its presence, it becomes multifold. Or in simple words, you can say, without spirituality, numbers have no value. Throughout our ancient scriptures, the concept of zero and infinity have been used in subtle ways to describe the unknown or mystic aspects of higher consciousness. This at times has been referred to Ishwar, Brahma, God, or Paramatma. And in this way, mathematicians, historians, and we as spirituality researchers have a common thread in our pursuit. And that is to explore how we give place to the unknown in our society. I have always believed that according to the Hindu worldview, the material and the spiritual prosperity go hand in hand. This is the reason why the topic of zero attracted my interest. So, I sincerely hope that the exploration into the origins of zero will reveal many layers of knowledge to position the role of spirituality in the scholarly and practical domain. I wish all the excellent contributors an inspiring time with this conference series, and I'm sure that it will enlighten us on our journey to revisit the concept of zero. I would like to thank the organizers for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Professor Nandram, for your contribution. I have to admit that I had not easily connected spirituality with the zero, but you have made it clear that there very much is a link there. And let's hope that the conferences which will follow our session today, the opening session, that will clarify that element. It is really something very special to have this link between the spirituality and the zero. It's very, very special indeed. Thank you very much for your contribution. Now, I'm a bit in doubt. I could go to our co-organizers, the mother and the daughter, but if you allow me, I will first give the floor to Wende Wallert, who is the chief curator of the Free University, and she, instead of the spirituality, she is going to visualize the zero, I understand. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Eric, thank you very much for this introduction and this invitation to speak some words about the opening of this conference. I work as an art curator at the Vrije Universiteit in Amsterdam. And at the VU, we bring contemporary art to the campus, to our students and to all the people who work there, already from the late 1960s. As we believe that we can make an inspiring environment by bringing art to the campus. So we organize exhibitions, we give assignments to artists for site-specific artworks at the campus, and we acquire artworks to build up an art collection and to present them at the campus. So we create this inspiring environment. And nowadays, the Vrije Universiteit has an art collection of about 1,200 artworks in various media. And as an art curator working at the university, I specifically focus on the interaction between art and science, as I believe that it's just the combination of knowledge through science and experience through arts that leads to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our environment. So I was very happy that the Vrije Universiteit embraced the initiative to realize a gallery space especially dedicated to this interaction of art and science. So from next month on, we will open at the Vrije Universiteit this new VU Art Science Gallery in one of the latest buildings of the university. And the first exhibition will be about this number 0. How did this happen? Well, I was busy with the preparations for this new gallery. In 2019, I got an email from Peter Gobetz, and he wrote to me about this Zero project, this foundation, and the conference dedicated to the Zero. And I got immediately intrigued by the complexity and the history that lies behind a simple number that I took for granted until that moment. And I got convinced that we should dedicate the first exhibition to this phenomenon that is so present, but at the same time, so elusive in our daily life. So from November, we will present the exhibition Zero, Starting from Zero, at this new VU Art Science Gallery. And in this exhibition, you can all experience the work of 4 artists that illuminate various aspects of the number 0. So we have the work of the artist duo Evelina Domnich and Dimitri Galvan that refers to black holes and the theory of Einstein, in which the denominator is 0, that leads to infinitive mass and gravitational pull in the center of black holes. Also, we have the work of the artist Jan Robert Leegte, which is about the digital universe that is actually constructed by ones and zeros. Also, the third artist, Jennifer T., she brings apparent contradictions effortlessly into symbiosis, like the concept shunya, which is the base for 0. And the work of the latest artist, Nikki Asman, follows the footsteps of the artist collective Zero, which is a collective from the late 1960s that claimed that nothing remarkable as daily life phenomena could also be art. So, I would like to take this opportunity to invite you all to visit this new gallery at the VU University in Amsterdam. And for those who are not able to physically visit us, we will make presentations about all the artists and their artworks, and we will present them on this channel. So we will, if you are interested, please keep an eye on the website of the Zero Project, where we will announce these presentations. For now, I want to thank you very much for this invitation, and I wish you a very inspiring and interesting project. Thank you.
Well, and thank you very much for your contribution. So my conclusion is that we now have in the VU, in the Free University, the link between spirituality, between art, and between science. What a combination. And did I understand well that one of the artists that you exhibit is called Leegte?
Yes, that's true.
Which is very much in line with Leegte. That's, I would explain to the ones who do not speak Dutch. What a pity you don't speak Dutch, by the way. But anyhow, Leegte, it means emptiness. So, and emptiness is also very much an element that plays a role with the 0. So here you are, one of the artists who we exhibit. Part of the exhibition will be Leegte, will be concerning the 0. On a personal note, I can say my elder daughter lives around the corner of the VU, so I will definitely come there to visit in person as soon as it is open. Thank you very much indeed. And now I go, if you allow me, to the co-organizers of the Zero Project, mother and daughter, who are of the Aczel Foundation. And once more, I congratulate the daughter, because I understand she just finished her PhD, for which I congratulate you very much indeed. I wonder whether it was on the 0, but I don't think that would be the case. But please, I give the floor to both of you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and what a wonderful way to start the day here in Berkeley, California. The birds are chirping, and also very excited about this conference. It's really a pleasure to be here and to see, just at the beginning, all the inspiring different projects and everything going on. I think that we're deeply honored, and we're thrilled to be co-organizing this. My late father was very passionate about science communication, math communication, and particularly this notion of connecting across different fields and using 0 and using science as a way to kind of bridge the gap between the arts and history. And I think that this 0 project specifically is just such a wonderful way of inspiring people. We're very much looking forward to hearing the rest of the presentations and to the continued learning and inspiring together.
Yes, excuse me. What I wanted to say is this project is very personal to us, and it was very important. The search for the origins of zero was something that Amir Aczel was passionate about. He was a mathematician by training, but he believed in the mysteries of the universe, and the mysteries of the universe is a wonderful way to inspire young people to study mathematics, to study science. His final book was Finding Zero, and he began the search for the origins of zero by roaming through India. He went to Laos. He went in search of many different countries, and he finally ended his search in Cambodia, where he rediscovered an ancient stele containing what is arguably the oldest representation of zero, absolutely known and dated positively. And what he was interested in was the question of why India? Why Cambodia? How did it get from India to Cambodia? Why was zero a product of an Indianized civilization? And why did it not come out of Greek civilization? And his book was an attempt to correct the record that the historical record that zero had to be a Western invention, and he felt that this was something that needed wide understanding, and in Cambodia, especially because of the complicated history of Cambodia and the fact that the educational system was decimated under the Khmer Rouge. Yeah. He wanted a way to encourage new generations of young mathematicians, young scientists, and he felt that that the search for zero, a mystery, was a wonderful way to excite young Cambodians about the subject. As part of our work, we ran a conference in Phnom Penh on history of zero. It was the first international conference, and this was an outgrowth of what Amir felt would excite, both bring attention to Cambodia from other parts of the world, but also bring attention to zero in Cambodia. So this was something that he believed in very, very, very strongly. And as part of the conference, that's how we learned about the work of this organization and how we made this connection. So I guess I would close by saying we're absolutely grateful to the organizers of the conference, and looking forward to hearing the rest of the speakers. And I also would like to say that we're deeply, deeply grateful to Dr. Solong Uk for his brilliant translation of Finding Zero into Khmer. And the idea is to make the book available to young Cambodians at very, very low cost, so they can learn something about their role in the history of mathematics. And I also would really like to acknowledge His Excellency Habtush in the Ministry of Culture in Cambodia for all of his tremendous support in Amir Aczel's original search for zero, and his ongoing support for research and education in zero. So we're looking forward to hearing the rest of the speakers over the next few months. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. What a fantastic subject to dive into that your husband actually thought about. It's unimaginable, I would say, that you get so deeply into the zero and then so far away from where you are as well, and then publishing a book about it. Fantastic, really. All compliments to your family and doing this type of thing. And what you said, that's the origin of the zero. You have to look for it, and that's what this conference and all the workshops are about. And there is, however, also a small European link, or Dutch link even, to it, because in the 16th and 17th century we had Mr. Steven, who was in Belgium, but who was attached to Leiden University, unfortunately not to a university in Amsterdam, but to Leiden University. And he actually brought and popularized the idea of the numerical system, including the zero, to Europe. So that's why it's at the moment here in Europe, we are all using it very much indeed. And what intrigues me profoundly is the fact that, in my opinion, in the digital age, there are only two numerals or two figures which are actually surviving, which is the 0 and the 1, because all our computers work only with the two of them. So when we look into the 0 origin, it has very much, in my opinion, relevance to what we are seeing today in our digital age. All right, this was our first inaugural conference of 6 months of conferences every Sunday afternoon on the time schedule that even in Berkeley, if you are willing enough to wake up early, you can take part, as well as in India, the other side of the world, where we have 3.5 and in the summer 4.5 hours of difference the other way around. Thank you very much indeed, all of you. We have, as I said, we will publish this all, what we said today, on our web link, which is TheZeroProject.nl. And we hope that all the other speakers in all the conferences after us will also be published there, so that we have a wealth of information and all that then can find its way into a monograph on these subjects of the zero, hopefully bringing us closer, first of all, to truth, and hopefully also to the truth. Thank you very much indeed, all of you. Thank you.